Something you may not know about me, I love movies. And as a commentator, I haven't gotten the chance to make a video on a horrible movie yet. So you can imagine my surprise when I go looking around for one and I happen to find the spiritual sequel to one of the biggest movies in history. I'm talking about Titanic 2, which is apparently a live action / animated action. Oh boy. And I'm not talking about those fan-made trailers that some people have made recently showing that, oh, Jack's alive, ooh. No, I'm talking about something much, much worse. Yes, there's a legitimate film called Titanic 2, using Roman numerals instead of English numbers. Wait, time out. I don't think they're called English numbers, actually. Anyway, it's important to note that this film doesn't actually technically consider itself a sequel to the first Titanic movie. And not just because there's no way in hell that James Cameron and Leonardo DiCaprio would want anything to do with this movie. But it's because they would probably get sued if they went around saying that. So it's a good thing that the Titanic actually did happen. So they could be like, oh, it's a made-up story of, you know, what would happen 100 years later after it's sunk. However, people are still going to think it's a sequel because it's called Titanic 2. If I made a movie called The Iron Giant 2 and it's about a young boy who's best friends with a giant robot, and I go around saying no, it has nothing to do with the first Brad Bird's Iron Giant, then people will be like, wait, what? They're going to put two and two together there? What? This movie was released in August of 2010, and it was direct-to-TV in Australia. Then it premiered on the Sci-Fi Channel in the UK, and later that month it came to the US. Oh, who made this illustrious masterpiece? I'm glad you asked. Why, none other than a gentleman by the name of Shane Van Dyke. That's right, Mr. Dyke directed it, wrote it, and starred in it. And after looking at his IMDb page, I can say without further hesitation that Titanic Roman numeral 2 is his magnum opus, Chico. George Lopez. 2003. Alright, I've given enough backstory, let's just watch this shit. The movie starts with these cinematic shots of Greenland and a surfer riding the waves that are created by falling chunks of ice. The waves become too much for the poor guy and he ends up drowning. So one of your first thoughts may be, you know, why the fuck did we have to see that? Well, it's a little thing we like to call foreshadowing in the biz. You may not have recognized it as that because you've probably seen it done better in a million different movies. But you know what? We're only 4 minutes in, so buckle up. The Coast Guard gets word of these terrible waves and sends in Captain James Maine so that he can investigate this little Scooby-Doo mystery.
Good morning. Well, Snipes, I don't think there's going to be anything good about this morning.
More foreshadowing. Actually, that one wasn't that bad. We then see everyone boarding the Titanic 2. In this story, Titanic 2 will be taking the same journey as the first one, but in reverse. And I don't mean... The original traveled from England to New York, so Titanic 2 will be traveling from New York to England. I mean, this is the 100th anniversary of the Titanic voyage, where so many people died. So, of course this calls for a celebration. Hey, you know what? In 19 years it'll be the 100th anniversary of World War II. And since Titanic 2 seems to suggest that we should celebrate when a huge amount of people died, I mean... hell, with everything that's been going on in 2020, that's not out of the realm of possibility. Germany, get the ball rolling. Hey, just a quick disclaimer, that is obviously a joke. I don't actually want that to happen. This is mostly just for cancel culture and also the YouTube algorithm, because I'm sure one of them will accuse me of spreading propaganda. And hey, that I have to explain that, but, you know, it is what it is. Look! All of those CGI people are waving. Bye, fake people. Don't forget to write, alright? Whoa, is that Call Me Carson? No! Oh, subtle, Van Dyke. Very subtle.
Watch it, buddy. Swear to God, I would rather watch some of these people drown than give them CPR.
These are two of our three main characters, and they are the nurses of the ship. And before you ask, yes, you did just hear one of those nurses say that she wouldn't mind if she saw some of these people drown. Actually, that's some more foreshadowing for you. Ooh. I would like to point out that that actress that just delivered that line, and who had that butt shot, that looked familiar to me. I couldn't quite put my finger on it until I did some research. Her name is Michelle Glavin, and she was in a fucking epic rap battles of history. That's right. She played Miley Cyrus.
Some old twerk, I got all day, spit harsh words in this French made face.
Apparently she was also in KSI's movie Late in America, and she was also a YouTuber for a while. I think she quit like a year ago or something like that because she hasn't posted anything, so just wanted to throw that out there. Now it's time to introduce our third lead, and since he's the director and writer, he needs a big introduction. I just caught a fly when I did that, by the way. I don't know if you saw, but that's how I roll. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Shane Van Dyke. Woo! Yeah! Woo! Helicopter! Lady parts! That's how you make an introduction, okay? Woo! Totally shagadelic, baby.
So big.
Airplanes are big, babe. Trains are big. This is monumental.
Oh, top tier dialogue. It's important to note that Shane's character used to date the nurse that's on the left. Actually, I should probably learn their names since all three of these people are blonde. Alright, they are Hayden, Amy, and Kelly. Okay? As much as I like saying the word dyke, I know that YouTube's not very fond of that. You know what? I finally understand how Rob Gavigan feels.
How you guys doing? You have a good time? Enjoy yourself. Let's go, man.
His arms are not long enough for 4 women. Do you see that? Also, I should say that Amy is the daughter of Captain James Maine. So, you know, all of these leads have to be connected somehow, okay? I just wanted to point that out, but you know what? Let's watch Hayden and Amy's first interaction of the film.
Amy, glad you can make it.
Thanks. Yeah, everything looks really nice. You did a good job.
How's your dad doing?
He's good.
We'll see you around.
Bye. See you.
Fuck off. I don't really want to be with any of these babes that are on my arms. I'm gonna show the audience I'm a good guy by looking back. It is now time for Titanic 2 to take off. Ew, gross, cochino, no! The SS Tipton on the Sweet Life on deck looks more real than this, harumph! Anyway, let's check back in with Captain Maine. He arrives in Greenland and meets Dr. Kim Patterson. She tells him that it's very possible that a glacier the size of Rhode Island can hit the water, causing a tsunami.
A piece of ice that broke off this glacier was about the size of Manhattan. Imagine what a piece the size of Rhode Island would do.
Appreciate the alright shout out. I thought Family Guy could only do that. The reason this is happening is because the glacier formed due to global warming and blah 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 blah. Look, ask yourselves this. Does it matter? I know that I shouldn't be comparing this horrendous monstrosity to the first Titanic, but I'm going to. Because in that movie, there's no over-the-top reason why the Titanic sinks. They collide into an iceberg. That's it. That's all it needs to be. There's not stuff like global warming, tsunamis, and... Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Yeah, let's just keep going.
How long do we have before it collapses?
It's hard to say. But when it does, the entire North Atlantic will be devastated by the shockwave.
Ugh! Look at these effects! Green screen looks like a scene straight out of Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
Just relax, lay about, or my face will put you out.
But then calamity strikes. That's right, the ground begins to crack and somebody dies. Oh, who was that? Doesn't matter. Not really. He was working with Kim the doctor, but she didn't really seem to care because she just hops onto the helicopter with Captain Maine and then they just take off and his character is never brought up again. Anyway, Maine contacts every boat in the Atlantic, including Titanic 2, that danger is afoot. Honestly, you could skip through a lot of this movie. So Titanic 2 gets word of this. This causes mass hysteria. People are going absolutely peanut butter and nuts. Then, the first iceberg hits. Whoa, this is going crazier than the last time this happened. But this is only the beginning, folks. So because the ship was hit on the starboard side, which is boat speak for the left side. Yes, I got it right. Anyway, because of that, yeah, the half the lifeboats are destroyed. By the way, I love Hayden's response to this.
The bulkhead.
The watertight bulkheads were designed for a head-on collision. We never anticipated being hit from the side.
Oh, really? You never suspected there was an inch of possibility that you could be hit from the side. How about that? Not to mention that this all started because you wanted to make a squeakle to a boat that sunk. To a boat that sunk.
Looks like history's repeating itself.
I would just assume that you would be smart enough to over-prepare and like expect that any little thing could go wrong. God, this movie's stupid. So they begin to evacuate. Hayden is about to escape in his helicopter, but he then decides to fill up the chopper with injured people so that they can get to safety, and he will go look for Amy to make sure that she survives. They end up finding each other, but guess what? Kelly's in trouble. Oh no. Now Hayden and Amy have to go rescue her. Oh my god. They find Kelly in the infirmary, and she is heavily injured. How ironic. They end up using one of Hayden's credit cards to cover up the wound and to put pressure on it. I don't know whether to clown on this or not because I don't know if that's an actual thing or not. This is the first time I've heard of something like that. I think this movie's trying to gaslight me right now. Now, at this point of the film, Titanic 2 is sinking. People are dying, others have hopped aboard the lifeboats, which are these orange submarines, but another big tsunami wave is coming, and before it can show up, there is an explosion on the ship. This ends up killing the boat's captain and, to be quite frank, many others. Also, that bigger wave that comes ends up killing everybody that got away. Nothing else really interesting happens, so let's just skip through the last 20 minutes of the movie. Kelly ends up dying by being crushed by a door. Hayden finds one scuba diving outfit. He gives it to Amy, sacrificing himself. Captain Maine rescues Amy and Hayden dies. Meaning the only survivors of the ship were Amy and a bunch of unknown injured people that got away on Hayden's chopper. So 99% of people on that boat fucking died. And that's Titanic 2, everybody! Never again. Once this video goes out, never again will I watch this movie. God damn. I mean, it's just horrible. The dialogue is bad, the special effects are abysmal, the characters are not interesting, the narrative is boring, and somehow this movie drags. I say somehow just because Titanic 2 is only 80 minutes long. I'm just really glad it's not 3.5 hours like the actual movie. One last thing I wanted to point out is that I guess this movie is technically a parody. That doesn't really make sense to me because it's not funny in any way. Nor is it trying to be funny. I guess I'm just too used to the knuckle-scraping, slobbering idiots who made the scary movies, epic movie, disaster movie, you know, all those, etc. Also, if it truly is a parody, then you don't use the actual name of the thing you're parodying. You come up with something that's close to it, like Plump Fiction, The Bogus Witch Project. It shouldn't be parading around as a sequel or a parody. Because it's really neither of those things. It just shouldn't have been made in the first place, okay? That's it. So please subscribe for more content. I'll probably make some more videos on bad movies in the future. Check out our other videos that are on the channel. And yeah, I'll just see you in the next video, I guess. Oh, perfect timing. That's my alarm. It is time for church. Yeah, bye.